Let me ask you this. Elementary school, it's recess, lunchtime, any kind of break time that we had in elementary school. We either went out to go play like in the jungle gyms, what we called it, the monkey bars, tetherball, handball, basketball, kickball, all sorts of activities. But there was one thing that I always gravitated towards the one thing I actually ran towards when it was lunchtime. And that was Carroms. I should have known from the very beginning that the board game world was something that was going to be something much more prominent in my future lifetime. And I feel like Carroms in the old school way was one of the most fun things that I ever enjoyed. And it's crazy because back then it was completely different from what you're about to see. The Carroms I had was like this huge, like almost like a pool table. And what you had to do was there were checker pieces, like red and black piece, and we had pool sticks. With those pool sticks, you had to like shoot your checker piece into a certain pool. And then there were also like different obstacles, like if you landed in the lake, then you would lose a turn. And ultimately, your goal was to get into each one. Like think of it as like mini golf, but on a pool table. And your goal was to get into all 9. I think there were 9 of them total. Your goal is to get into all 9 of those before the other player. So you take a turn, shoot your shot, and then if you get into like hole number 1, then you get to go again, and you get to go to hole number 2, hole number 3, and then whoever is you're playing against, they're gonna get left behind if they can't make it in time. So the first one to get to hole number 9 sinks it in, wins, and my God, the stories I still remember. Like everyone would used to be like crowd around the table, especially when it gets towards like the ending phase. And there were people that were really good at it. I feel like I would get into rhythm sometimes and just get like the first 3 right in a row. And I think by the end of my elementary school, I had it spot on. Like I would go to like 1 through 5 in a heartbeat every single time, so consistently. And I love the game so much that I even built my own. I like saved up, I think it was like $20, right? That's like do all these random chores, mowing the lawn, dishes, you name it. Whatever I could to like scrap up some money, I got it in order to go to Home Depot and buy a wooden plank and these little wooden dowels, cut those wooden dowels and make my own custom Carroms board. And then we just like used marker and stuff and painted it. I wish I could show you a picture of what my old board was like, but it was so handcrafted and janky that we didn't have any kinds of like cameras back then or like even a phone too. So it would have been amazing to capture what it looked like. Bottom line, I love this game so much that I scrapped up every single penny that I could in order to make my own custom board back then. And fast forward 25 more years later, here we are. It's finally here. I am so incredibly excited for this. And I guess the proper way of saying this is actually Carrom, or I've also heard it called Carrom. I'm not totally sure, but there's no S. We always called it Carroms when we were little, but I think the proper way is Carrom. And in this box, let me show you. This is the first time I'm seeing it alongside you. Oh my God, I am so excited to see this again. Okay, the quality of this board honestly is unreal. So this is cherry wood. You can see the gloss over it is extremely shiny and super. I have never seen anything glossy like this for a wood finish. And on top of that, it's like super like smooth. It has to be, I guess, for all the pieces for everything to like fall into place very nicely, just like a pool table. Okay, I'm not like a wood expert or anything, but it honestly looks like a very thin piece of like either a mirror or acrylic is just laid right on top, super thin, because everything is super shiny, smooth, glossy, and even like the paint I think is done on the wood itself. It's so freaking nostalgic seeing this table again. And let's go ahead and take out all the pieces and let me show you how to play this game. It comes with 2 bags, and here are the black pieces. And then we also have the white pieces, so they look similar to checkers. It's almost as if it's checkers and pool combined, like checkered components, but on a pool table. That's pretty much how Carrom is played. So all these pieces go right in the center, kind of mix them up. That way they have some right, like, look at this. Do you see how smooth this thing is rolling? Like, look at that. It's almost as if it's an ice hockey table. That's how smooth this wooden table is. It's insane. Okay, so I got a little hasty because I got really excited about seeing this, but I also did want to mention that this is not a sponsored video. I was, however, sent this for review by Woodestic, which is the company that graciously sent this over. And they also sent over these. These are the like pool sticks that I was talking about when I was, look at that. Is that what? Oh my god. This was like my old school way of positioning how to like hit a checker piece to get to sink into a hole. So it was like, this was my signature move. I'll show you all those signature moves. So corny. I'll show you all those the ways people like grip their pull sticks later on. But yeah, anyways, these right here are the cues. They're sticks to use to hit your pieces. They came with 2. Technically, this game can be played with up to 4 players if you have one sitting on either side of this. Woodestic also included this gliss powder. Think of this as like baby powder. You put this on the table and it's supposed to allow for the discs to glide across the board like a swan on Swan Lake. Also came with a cloth, a beautiful Woodestic pen. There's also a waxing set to be used for crokinole, which I'm sure many of you, I feel like every single board gamer event I've went to, they all had crokinole, and I wanted to do something different. But to be honest, I also resonate a lot more with Carrom more than crokinole. Actually, I just played crokinole for the first time last month, but everyone talks about crokinole, and I'm like, oh, I played Carrom, at least when I was little. So here's the wax set to be used for the board. And then lastly, the pieces that I mentioned earlier. Now the red piece right here is the queen that you put right in the center. It also came with an extra piece. So it comes with 1 extra red piece, 1 extra white, and 1 extra black. And then this right here is the active chip, or like the wooden chip that you're gonna use to hit the pieces in the center. Let's go to move this off and let's see if I still got this. Side note, I just saw this and I wanna show you right now before we move on. Check out this beautiful logo that they just engraved onto the Woodestic board. This is incredible. That's amazing right there. What a nice touch. And then all you're gonna do is take your striking disc and put it along any line that you want across the board. You can even put it on the white circles over here. Then you're gonna take your cue and you're gonna break up your pieces. Your goal is to sink all of your pieces in before the other player. And when you do, you get points for all the other remaining pieces on the board. When you sink the queen, you then have to, right for the next turn right after, you also have to sink another one of your pieces right away, or else that doesn't count. So there has to be 2 conditions met. 1, the queen has to be sunk, and 2, all of your Carrom pieces have to be in one of the corners. And then when you do, you count up the remaining pieces that are remaining on the board, and that's how many points that you score. And I think they usually go to like 24, 25 points, and that's how you play the game. Like I said, there are a ton of variations on this, but that's like the core gameplay. Sink your pieces before the other player and make sure the queen has sunk as well. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna break up the middle piece exactly like pool. That was absolutely terrible. We're gonna redo that. Technically, you do get 3 attempts to break up the middle. Oh, that was a little bit better. Oh, right there. That's money right there in the corner. Observe. Only took me 10 attempts. But yeah, the quality of this board is just absolutely unreal. From the borders, the custom corner pieces right here, the little nets that hang out from each side makes each piece super easy to grab. These are solid wood sliders. They're light, they glide very easily, makes it super fun for gameplay. I feel like photos online don't do this game justice because the paint itself, I thought it was going to be like a slap on paint, but like the precision of these very fine lines and the details in like the center logo and everything, all that I think is done on the wood itself, on top of like this shiny sheen that's put right on top of it to make everything look extremely polished. This is a very polished looking classic reimagined game. Roughly estimating, I feel like the weight of this board is around 15 to 20 pounds. I think they also have like wall hangers where you can just hang it directly onto the wall if you want to put that as one way for storage. On the back, they have a nice little saying here: from Woodestic comes a game, and from a game comes a tree. Another reason why I chose Carrom 2 instead of crokinole. Crokinole hurts your finger, dude. Like, it hurts your nails after you're playing for a while. And technically, you can play Carrom by just flicking it, but I really do prefer having like the wooden sticks. I love that pull feeling. Oh, and I also mentioned that I was going to tell you about the other different grips too. So this was my personal grip. I just made like a little L with your hand. But then other people I've seen, they use like, this is like a common one too, where they put like a loop over their finger in order for them to hit it just like this. I've seen a loop. I've seen some crazy ones with like a grip. Another one was like a Spider-Man on top of the table. And I'm like, dude, how do you even have any kind of grip to like hold that like this? But they were like this, and they kind of shot it with little Spider-Man grip holding it like that. And I think One more I've seen was a little variation on the finger loop. They used their middle finger and also looped it just like that too. But honestly, there was one rival that I had and we both shot the same exact way. And that was just like simple classic L like this. Gives you a ton of precision and grip, and it just makes it look so much cooler when you're shooting like this. You know, as a 7-year-old, like bam. But yeah, overall, this is a very, very luxurious board game, classic board game reimagined. And I absolutely love it. I love all the details. I love the paintwork. I love the gloss. I love all the little wooden chips. There's, you know, nothing to complain about such a classic game that has been elevated to heights like this. You'll see my monthly wrap-up video coming up very, very soon that I've also been playing a lot more family games too. Reason why is because my niece has gotten older and she's finally starting to learn how to play board games, which is absolutely amazing. And she's had a ton of fun with them. This game right here, Carrom, in this style, is going to be something that she's going to absolutely love. And I can see all of us playing on the table, having a ton of fun and spending a lot of time with a game as beautifully crafted as this. So Woodestic, thank you so much for sending this over for me to review. I really appreciate putting this beautiful logo onto a custom board like this. The quality of this, absolutely insane. Stunning details across the board, and I really appreciate it. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you made it here to the very, very end, let me know in the comments below, what was your go-to elementary school board game? Was it checkers, chess? What else did they play? Moncala? And I feel like I've seen marbles for sure, and Carrom itself. If you played Carrom, let me know. But yeah, let me know which game you played in elementary school. What was your favorite board game? And with that said, I will see you all in the next one.